Welcome. Welcome for another session for learning, understanding steady state stability studies. Today we are going to discuss about how to solve the problem to find steady state stability limit by conventional method, and another that is the Clark's diagram. Probably conventional method it may take time, so today we can see the numerical based on conventional method only. Okay, so let us have quick recap for previous session. In last session we discuss about two machine system with negligible losses, that is purely reactances present in the system, and very interesting diagram from which one can find out power system, that is steady state stability limit, that is the Clark's diagram. We discuss how one can construct, what are the different steps to construct Clark's diagram, right? So also we discuss what is the importance of steady state stability studies. Okay, now let us try to solve this problem by conventional method, that is use of power angle curves. For this what we are going to understand that to what extent excitation voltage can be increased to improve the steady state stability limit. What we are saying, what are the different methods for improving steady state stability? As we know, P max is equal to EV by X. That one of the method is increasing the excitation voltage E. But it is very important to understand that to what extent this excitation voltage should be increased. What is the effect on the power angle curves for increasing this excitation voltage? So it is well illustrated in this example. You will definitely understand from the power angle curves that to what extent we have to, or which are the parameters that power for any power system engineer he or she has to control, otherwise system loses synchronism. We are going to understand these power angle curves that have been drawn for the power transmitted versus load angle delta at the right moment, also the theta, that is the angle between the two terminal voltages V1 and V2, it is the angle theta. So that means being an responsible power system engineer, you have to control E as well as angle theta. So this has been well illustrated for this example. You will definitely understand this. Let us read this example. Find the steady state stability limit of the system shown here, consisting of a generator of equivalent reactance 0.6 unit connected to an infinite bus through a series reactance of 1 unit. Here in this diagram you observe x1 is equal to 0.6, xe it is 1. All values are in per unit. V1, V2, all these values are in per unit. The terminal voltage of the generator is held at 1.10 units and the voltage of the infinite bus at 1 unit. Okay. So for such system, you have to find the steady state stability limit. Observe this diagram carefully. E1, E2, V1, V2. Also the reactances, the values have been mentioned on this diagram itself, and all the values are in per unit. Right? So if the voltage of the infinite bus is taken as a reference, the terminal voltages are V1 is equal to 1.10 at an angle theta, and V2 it is 1 angle 0. See the uppermost diagram on the right hand side. V1 it is 1.10 at an angle theta, and V2 which is obviously equal to E2 in this case, and which is given as 1 at an angle 0. Right? So where theta is the angle between them, that is between V1 and V2. Now what we are going to understand here, we are going to understand that what is the effect of increasing excitation voltage on the power angle curve, on the steady state stability limit. So what we do, we assume here that theta is equal to 30 degree. Okay. You can see the bottom side power angle curves. So you can see here different power angle curves we have drawn, that is shown by A, B, C, D, and the E it is the resultant of all these power angle curves. Now what we are going to do, we are going to understand that what is A, what is this B, C and D, and then once we have found out these power angle curves, how the steady state stability limit, which is shown on this diagram, which is equal to 1.03 per unit of course. The rightmost scale you can see here, it is angle theta. Y-axis you can see that is the power transmitted in per unit, and the x-axis it is angle delta. Okay, so we are going to understand these power angle curves to illustrate that the importance of control of excitation voltage and angle theta for responsible power system engineer. Right? So what we have done, assume theta is equal to 30 degree. From the uppermost diagram, circuit diagram, you can find out now the value for I. What you observe? It can be found out as V1 minus V2 by XC. JXC you can say. Substitute all those values. I know V1 will be now 1.10 at an angle 30 minus 1 at an angle 0 upon J1. XC it is 1. Now you can carry out your phasor algebra. You know you have to convert polar to rectangular or rectangular to polar to obtain the answer. Same procedure has been carried out here. You can do it. So I leave this for you. You can try this. After doing such calculation, what I obtain, I is equal to 0.55 plus J times 0.05. Getting this? Hope you got the expression. If you are with me with your class copy, with your pen, with your calculator. Right? Okay. Let us move further. So I know I. Once I know I can calculate for E1. Similar problem we have solved in previous session, where we have taken, if I am not wrong, 2 to 3 problems based on steady state stability. So here also E1 it is what? It is V1 plus JIX1. Substitute all the values. Ultimately what we are obtaining E1 as what? 1.27 at an angle 44 degree. Yes, and what is this 44 degree? It is load angle, rotor angle delta. Okay, So the angle it is delta is equal to 44 degree, below 90 degree. And the transmitted power is E1 E2 by x sine delta. Substitute all the values. E1 we are knowing, E2 it is knowing, E2 is equal to V2, and also divided by total reactance, it is 1.6 into sine 44 degree. What you will obtain? Transmitted power 0.55. Mark on that power angle curves. For that power angle curve A. The power can be computed from the reference voltage and the in-phase current as 0.55. Reference voltage, of course, it is 1. 0.5 it is 55 current. Vi, simple. And maximum power with this value of excitation is EV by X. What we obtain? 0.79. Steady state stability limit, P max. So 0.79 it is. If I want to improve the power transfer capability, what I have to do? I have to increase excitation. So it is stated here. However, as the power is increased, the excitation must also be increased. So what I do? Let us see on the next slide. That is for curve B. What is that? Assume theta is equal to 45 degree. We are assuming. Right? To illustrate that how one can find out steady state stability limit, and also what is the effect of impact of excitation voltage on Pmax by drawing power angle curves. Various power angle curves A, B, C, D, E up to, as I have shown on the first slide. Correct? So curve B. Again assumption. Assume theta is equal to 45 degree. Rest procedure is similar to the previous one. Calculate current I, calculate E1. Once we are knowing about I can easily calculate for E1, and it is found to be 1.41 at an angle 62.5 degree. So obviously delta is what? 62.5 degree. I know all these values. Simple. Power it is Vi. So it is what? It is again 1 reference voltage. Current I, it is 0.78. So P it is what? 0.78. But we are interested for steady state stability limit. So what I will do? I will calculate P max. It is what? EV by X. Substitute all the values. What I obtained? 0.88. Observe here. Previously it was 0.78 if I am not wrong. Now it is improved because we increase theta. Increasing theta, that means increasing excitation voltage. So it is what? 0.88. However, still if I want to increase the power transfer, so what I do? Excitation should be further increased. Increasing excitation. Let us observe curve C. Previous was 0.88. 0.88, that is Pmax. Now for curve C, theta is equal to, assume, 60 degree. Right? So theta is equal to 60 degree. Now similar procedure you have to carry on. That is what? Calculate I. Now by this time it is V1 by V2 upon total reactance. So V1 it is 1.10 at an angle theta. Theta is now 60 degree. So 1.10 at an angle 60 degree minus 1 at an angle 0 by total reactance. Convert polar to rectangular, and then again you are getting the value for I as what? 0.95 plus J 0.45. Once we obtain the value for I, calculate for E1. I know how to calculate. Similar procedure. So we obtain E1 as what? 1.54 at an angle 79.5 degree. Now delta it is 79.5 degree. Power will be simple, V into I, we obtain 0.95. We are interested for steady state stability limit. So what is it? It is P max. It is EV by X. So yes, it is improved 0.96. Previously it was 0.88. Now it is 0.96. Correct? Further, if I want to improve this 0.88, 0.96, further if I want to improve this, what I do? Again I will increase excitation. Assume theta is equal to 75 degree for curve D. Right? 75 degree, therefore again I can calculate I. V1 minus V2 upon X. V1 by this time now 1.10 at an angle 75 degree. Convert these two polar to rectangular. Find out the value. What you are obtaining? I is equal to 1.06 plus J 0.72. Right? Very good. You are obtaining these values. Then even similar procedure. What is its value? 1.70. Now by this time angle delta, watch it carefully. Delta it is 95 degree, crossing 90. So what I obtain? Power it is, of course, it is 1.06. The maximum power with this value excitation is P max, it is 1.06. It is improved. It is increasing. Previously it was suppose 0.55, then 0.88, then I am talking about P max. Previously if it was 0.55 as curve A, then curve B we discussed it was 0.88, then curve C that is 0.96. By increasing excitation we are obtaining P max. By this time now it is for curve D it is 1.06. Right? It is increasing, but the system would be unstable with theta is equal to 75 degree because delta is greater than 90 degree. Because we know that importance of steady state stability limit is that TSL, that is transient stability limit, may be more than 90 degree, but steady state stability limit not. Because we know from the single power angle curve, system enters to the unstable region when it crosses delta above 90 degree. Okay, so here mentioned same, the system would be unstable with theta is equal to 75 degree because delta greater than 90 degree. You can now see all these curves. I have shown all these curves by different colors. So curve A, you can observe here for curve A, P max, you can observe 0.55. Then for curve B, that 0.88 shown by black dot on that curve. Curve B shown by purple color. Curve C by green color, black dot indicating 0.96. Then for D, it is crossing that 1, that is 1.06 or 1.06. So there you observe that black dot on that curve D, you can observe the same with respect to angle delta, it is above 90 degree. Okay, right? At the same moment the theta it is 75 degree. Now if I join all these points, I can obtain the resultant, that is the curve E. Okay, and then I can say that if I want the steady state stability limit satisfying the criteria delta is equal to 90 degree. At the right moment, the stability limit I found here, it is 1.03. For that delta is equal to 90 degree. To the same moment theta, it may be approximately I can say 70 degree. Understood? So here the curve E is the locus of constant terminal voltages of the specified value. The power at delta is equal to 90 degree. Read from this curve is steady state stability limit and it is 1.03 per unit. Okay, that we just now stated here. The value of theta at the stability limit is how much? 70 degree. If theta could be increased to 90 degree without instability, the maximum power at the specified terminal voltages will be what? 1.10 per unit. V1, V2 by Xc. Right? Okay. So here, same power angle curves have been shown. You can observe these carefully. Right? A, B, C, D, E. And once you can observe this carefully, you understand that to what extent excitation voltage can be increased. Right? So we can say the key point it is, this shows how excitation increment improves steady state stability but with restriction on load angle delta is equal to 90 degree. Yes, of course, it is true that to improve power transfer capability or steady state stability limit Pmax, we have to increase excitation voltage E. But just now we have seen by observing all those power angle curves carefully that if we are going to increase excitation voltage, but you have to put certain limit there. Otherwise, going on increasing and increasing excitation voltage, you may find the case, as we have seen in case D, that delta crosses 90 degree. And we know that we are very well in condition to say that for steady state stability limit, delta should be always less than 90 degree or equal to 90 degree. Otherwise, system loses synchronism. So, when you observe those power angle curves carefully, you will be having your conclusion that yes, power transfer capability can be improved by increasing excitation voltage, but you have to put certain restrictions on increment of excitation voltage, as we understood from these all power angle curves. For that case, we obtain what? Theta is equal to 75 degree. Delta crosses 90, that we found out as what? Delta is equal to 95 degree. So, if still excitation increased beyond delta is equal to 90 degrees, system loses synchronism. So, internal excitation voltage and so also angle theta should be properly controlled. Bottom line of today's session is that internal excitation voltage and so also the angle theta, they are playing an important role for improving the stability limit, improving the steady state stability, but these factors should be properly controlled. Otherwise, we find that system loses synchronism if we cannot put any kind of restrictions on these two factors. Right? So this is bottom line. You may underline this. Internal excitation voltage and so also angle theta should be properly controlled. Right? So upcoming session, today's session we discuss about how to find out from the given problem the stability limit using power angle curve approach. upcoming session, same problem we are going to continue, but it will be solved by using Clark's diagram. Okay, numerical on finding steady state stability limit using Clark's diagram. So for upcoming session, you should be with your, again I am going to requesting you oftenly that please be with me with your class copy, with your geometric box, with your graph paper. Okay, so in next session we are going to learn, we are going to understand very interesting and very beautiful Clark's diagram to related with power system stability, and also why the name has been given as Clark's diagram. Very interesting. You will definitely enjoy that session, right? So I may conclude. That's all from my side. That's all for today's session. Thank you. Thank you to all.